Hi everyone, how are you all doing? So today, now, for this series of celebration for World Intellectual Property Day, I have with me my lovely friend Arushi. She has been, working with me, not working with me actually, I have been interacting with her for last few months, and we always end up with a smile after the conversation. So I would like you all to also know her better and see why she loves this field and what she does in IP. Arushi, thanks for joining me today. What are you doing for
Hi.
the World IP Day?
So we have a couple of things planned. We've already completed one of the events for Ramit University. Basically, it is about how intellectual property is important for startups. So that's one event we have completed. We are also focusing on other small days that are around Intellectual Property Day, which is an International Book and Copyright Day. So we have a small trivia for that. Then there's International Dance Day that's coming up, and we've also launched the quiz for which we'll be announcing the winners by the end of the day. So we've had the quiz over last weekend because it was for students. So we thought keeping it over weekend would be convenient for the students, and we've held that. And now today we'll be announcing the winners for it.
Wow, so there's a lot of things going on at your end. So Arushi, let me know if there's anything you would like to, our readers and listeners know more about the work that you're doing.
So Pooja, intellectual property, when you talk about it, it is actually an aspect of law that is there in every bit that we focus on, whether it's the book that we are reading, or it's the artwork that we have made, or the particular invention that we are working coming focusing on India particularly. The point here is that the startup culture has taken a good growth, and with the coming up of startups, the inventions and the innovations have been in limelight. So while the startup is focusing on their inventions and trying to boost it in the market and popularize it, be it invention or be it any creative idea or a product, again, like I said, or an artistic work, anything, what they majorly miss out on is the protection that goes behind it. And they usually end up suffering because of a huge amount of counterfeits, or any form of piracy that takes place in intellectual property. So the idea of the firm is to not only work for these startups, facilitate them, but also to make them more aware. So a lot of times a lot of our operations or all of our firm's activities are focused on promoting intellectual property awareness. Again, the same goes for students, because the students again have gone into huge amount of innovation. There are such amazing students that we meet, and they have brilliant ideas that they're working on, be it in a form of book, in fact. So we try and have awareness initiatives for students also. Other than that, we have corporates, basic corporates that we work for, and individual inventors. So, and again, working, that makes us work with academic institutions also, corporates also, and startups also. So different sectors that we are working in. But yes, the major idea is to be able to give intellectual property as much importance as any other subject matter of a corporate operation is.
So is that the main reason why you got into this field to you be in a position to help?
Yes, because honestly, even though I'm an advocate, I consider disputes to be a very futile. I'll be very honest with you, and I don't get the idea of why people, even as a child and as a grown up, I've never been able to get the idea of why people argue. So when it comes to intellectual property, it's so positive in its own self, and it's all related to growth. How a company is going to grow and going to branding, and be into releasing their promotions, and probably going into more innovation and making more products. Or if you talk about scientists, they have such brilliant inventions that they are working on. So to be a part of their growth is something that I feel has a very positive sense of belonging to a certain work, and that is why I primarily like working in intellectual property.
Wow. So, as IP is, it's quite vast. There's so many aspects to it. Protection, enforcement, commercialization, the three different aspects. So how much of, or if you could, give us a certain percentage, how would your day look like in all these three boxes?
So my major part of a day goes into protection, basically. The what we also call as prosecution in law, where we try and determine the kind of IP the particular work falls in and how it's going to get protected. Uh, a bit of it, probably 10 or 20% would go into enforcement, where we have counterfeiting, complaints, and so probably you have to work on cease and desist notices or litigation part that is there. Commercialization, again, when we work on the protection aspect, we always strategize it in a way that the commercialization of that particular invention or innovation or any other intellectual property work is properly connected to it. So let's say if there is a particular work that cannot be patented or is not patentable, and it has to be commercialized still, right? So the strategy has to go into how you work it on as a trade secret, or probably make it a confidential part of operation. So that is one part that we focus on. So the commercialization and strategizing and protection is something that goes hand in hand. Enforcement and protection measures, where there is a lot of prevention initiatives and litigation going on, that's another aspect taken up a little lesser than the commercialization and protection.
And what are your future plans? Where do you see yourself in next 5 years?
Wow, this is one question that will always be very, very overwhelming for me. I'm very happy doing the kind of work that I am. I definitely want to, grow the operations more when it comes to the firm. I have certain, people working with me. I want them to grow with me. We'll probably set up a more concrete office for all of us. That's one very small dream that I have. And we're currently operating from different co-working spaces and academic institutions. So that's one thing I want to work on, and take the operations forward and be more associated with startups.
Amen. You will. All the best for
Thank you.
you to you for doing it. You have completed 1 year, so many more years to you in this field. So, Arshi, how do you feel being an author on this book, Magic Weavers, the Women in IP?
I feel privileged. To be counted as a woman who's making a difference in the field that you love is probably the best thing that can happen to somebody. And I'm trying to make more, give more inputs into it and do as well as I can.
And I think the privilege is mine because you are an author in this book.
Thank you.
And I have thoroughly enjoyed reading the chapter, and I hope the others would too. So lastly, why do you think the people should read this book? What are the key takeaways for them?
See, I've read a lot of books. Okay, I read a lot, and one very interesting thing that I like doing is read one subject matter from different perspectives. So here there is one book that's going to give you different perspectives. You'll have to give me 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm so sorry. 1 minute.
No problem.
I'm so sorry, Pooja.
No problem. So what I'll do is I'll
Yeah,
take this question again, put up the question
yeah,
again, and so that I can delete the middle portion and
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Please tell
So
me.
yeah. So Arushi, now tell me, why should people read this book? What are the key takeaways from them?
Yeah, so as a reader myself, I like reading different books. And one of the most interesting aspects of that book is aspects that I like to explore is read one subject matter from different perspectives. Right. So here I think we have one book giving you different perspectives from different people who have tried to explore the same field. So that is why I think this is going to be a big key takeaway where people will be able to understand why one subject matter has been explored so differently by different authors and how they've probably, conquered different challenges. So that is one thing that I believe why people should come and read the book.
Exactly. It's more to, inspire those who want to come into this field
Yes.
and, learn what are the different opportunities. The book will be talking about all the different career prospects in IP, how the different ladies have worked, walked the road, how they have walked the path, what they have done to be where they are. So do read the book, follow Dhvani for more updates. Thank you, Arushi, so much for joining me today and wish you a very happy World Intellectual Property Day.